Pisces, how are you doing? This is your December love reading, Sun, Moon, Rising and Ascending for Pisces. If it doesn't resonate, also have a look at your Mercury placement and your Venus placement, communication and love, and then maybe look at those readings as well, just to see if you can, if you put it together, if you get a fuller sort of story. If you don't know what those placements are, there's a link down in the description. It says free natal chart, which actually shows you where they are. There's also a link for AC Digital Marketing Solutions in the description, which is for my friend that does my beautiful thumbnails. If you need any graphic design work done, you can contact her directly or social media management. For everybody that always supports me, thank you for your support. And if you don't know me, my name is Adrian. I'm an intuitive healer, I practice holistic wellness, and I'm also a spiritual regression hypnosis practitioner. So we're going to look at we're going to look at where you're coming from. The first card came out right away. Where you're coming from, where you currently are, what's coming towards you, what is your overall energy. We're going to clarify. We're going to end off with the Oracle card. And I'm using this beautiful Deviant Moon Tarot, which actually I got as a gift from one of my subscribers. Okay. And let's just see what's going on here. Oh. Okay. Okay. So for the overall energy, we've got the Six of Pentacles. It's like you might be giving too much of yourself away, which is something that can easily happen with Pisces, like from the best of intentions. You want to be more mindful with your energy management here, I feel it's almost a sense of, and this is a love reading, but this speaks of your personality as well, because the whole thing obviously, ties in together. This is almost like, let's imagine that you've got $100, $100. And this is almost like saying, you know what, I'm just going to give this penny because it's not that much, I still have like almost a whole $100. But I feel that it's almost like you're being a little bit reckless with your energy. You're giving, and it's like you might be giving in small increments to sort of make yourself believe that you're not giving a lot away, but it's almost like you might be not really, counting score. And it might, I also feel that you might be a little bit in denial about a situation over here. So if you are, currently struggling within a connection, it's almost like instead of talking about things, you try, you might be trying to make up things, makeup, like, I'll do this for you and I'll do that for you and I'll make myself more pretty and, or you could even say, okay, so I'm going to make myself shine less so you can shine more. So you want to be careful over here. This is, we're going to clarify, but this is not the most stable sort of thing going on here, okay? Could be heading in a narcissistic direction, and you could be feeding the situation without actually even realizing that you are doing so, because whilst you might be maintaining the peace, and this is something quite important to understand, what we sometimes have is, let's say for example you're in an abusive sort of relationship. I'm not saying that you are, but let's just imagine that you are. What we sometimes don't understand is there's the other person, and the third party is the energy. And you are both feeding that energy, And so whilst from the best of intentions, you might be trying to salvage the situation, there's actually your energetic input into the situation, which has the potential to entangle you into the situation more and more. All right. What brought you to where you currently are, the Five of Swords? This is... Okay, so we've got Five of Swords. Where you currently are is the Knight of Wands, and the Ten of Swords is what's coming towards you. I have to be honest with you. I feel that for many of you, if this resonates, that there's a lot of things that you might have. There's a lot of issues that you probably should have addressed that you didn't, and where it's bringing you at the moment it's like, this is where you realize that you actually have to do something. This is when we sometimes realize that things can't carry on the way that they are carrying on at the moment. I got to do something about this within myself. But then as you're heading forward there, coming towards you, finding yourself in the Ten of Swords situation, I feel that for some of you actually realize that it's time to let somebody go. You may have tried your best, but the situation is taking so much from you that you realize that it's time to let somebody go. You are too entangled in the situation right now. It's almost like, imagine this is an energy being heading towards you. Like some of you may have heard before that crystals can disappear. Ask anybody who's got crystals, they can actually disappear. And what they obviously do is they change their sort of energetic vibration. So if they change the vibration, then they're no longer in alignment with sort of like the earth vibration or where you are, but they maybe pop up somewhere different because they go where they are needed. Now this is sort of where you are at the moment. This is where you realize that, yes, if you did before, get things, maybe didn't ignore things, spoke up for things, didn't just let them slide, didn't just hope for the best. Because I feel that some of you, you might have been throwing out a lot of subtle hints over there. But it could be that your hints were not actually even, that they could have been misunderstood. So while you were trying out to put out hints to not really pick a fight, your significant partner, the other person, could have really thought that all you're really doing is whining. Okay? And I feel that there's a strong sort of longing inside to be with somebody where you are understood, in a situation where you are understood. But you also want to be careful because this energy with, feeling the deep need to be understood, because something that you need to understand, Pisces, is just because you so instinctively understand other people just like that, doesn't mean that everybody's got that as well. All right. So yes, it's all fair and well to want to have that, in your life and in your connection and in your relationship and in love and, any sort of bond that you are in. But you also want to make sure that, that with this situation, that the other person, communication is sometimes better in a stage, instead of like going around and sort of like testing and see if they get it or they don't get it. Because you might get to a point where you blame someone, they're like, what are you talking about? Because remember, if you sort of, going to judge a fish by its, inability to climb a tree, it's not going to work out, so you might actually need to talk in this situation. All right, let's look at this overall energy, because again, remember, as we were saying with your overall energy, the way that you are spending your energy, directing your energy, it might come from the best of intentions, but you may not be doing yourself any favors here. Okay, let's see, let's start clarifying. This is a very interesting situation that we have here. I'm going to clarify using the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. Okay, what is this? That's a lot of, oh, there's not so many, it's 4 cards. Okay, so these 4 cards just came out for you right away, clarifying your overall energy. So you've got the Queen of Pentacles, which is wonderful. You've got the Hanged Man, you've got the 10 of Wands, and you've got the 4 of Swords. So you might be dealing with someone that is, first of all, I actually feel that, especially for those of you that are in a connection, and when I say in a connection, it doesn't have to mean that you are in a formal relationship or in a marriage or an engagement or whatever with this person, but as long as somebody's still sort of on our minds, as long as we sort of feel that we have to either sit down and speak to them or casually mention, or I don't know, put a pic on Facebook or something to let them know that we're with someone, then we still have a connection with that person. All right. If there's any sort of checking in there or consideration or whatever that needs to be done, let's just be clear about being clear. The situation is not done. All right. So I do feel that in this connection itself, it does have great potential. It might take some work. It might take some sacrifice on either person's part. With the Hanged Man, instead of trying to be a Mr. or Miss Fix-It, if you sort of like speak to the universe, ask them for some help, I feel they can come together. There's a lot of pain within yourself here with the 10 of Wands that is drawing to a close. Okay, and for some of you, instead of, you know, sitting with the pain, feeling the emotions, you know, you might want to sort of give stuff to other people or create beautiful, you know, whatever circumstances, and, you know, I don't know, maybe throw up a party or whatever, take pictures or photo shoot to show everybody how happy you are. But it's about, remember, as we get over these situations, it is pain that brought you to the situation. You have to feel the pain to move through the situation. All right. If you don't, then you're trying to get something that, you know, you want to put in half the work and get the full benefit. It doesn't work that way. All right. There's a lot of potential you can reach for you. So, not trying to influence your situation at all, your mind at all, but I wouldn't let go of the situation just right yet. And I would be very transparent about what I'm actually going through at the moment. Okay, with the energy that's coming towards you, the recent past, they did Five of Swords. The first clarifier card that came out was the Temperance card. We want to be very careful when we do inner work, you know, when we become enlightened and reaching for the greatest version of ourselves, because sometimes we can do it to such a point that suddenly, you know, we're so high vibing that other people are just not in our, I don't know, in our class, you know. And there is just a different sort of separation, really. Let's see. Okay. There's that stubborn Pisces, not wanting to be wrong. Okay, so you've got the Temperance, the Hierophant, the Ten of Swords, and sort of like the Page of Pentacles. It was sort of like sliding its way underneath there, underneath the Ten of Swords there. So yes, beautiful personal growth taking place, and I feel that there might be a stage here where, you know, if you're with someone or you'd like to be with someone, that it's almost like you are starting to somehow do better than them, or they might be doing better than you, and so your insecurity is kicking in here with the Ten of Pentacles, you know, and the Page of with the Ten of Swords and the Page of Pentacles underneath. Your insecurities are starting to creep in, whereas it's almost like, so where you currently are, it's been brought about obviously by the past, and this is where, you know, we want to be so careful when we do personal work within ourselves and growth, because whilst it's a beautiful thing, you know, you don't want to kind of get into that whole thing of like, oh, does it honor my, you know, my energy and my vibration and, you know, the high divine being that I am, and if it doesn't, I must just cut it off, because then you kind of cut yourself out of the human experience. Okay. And I feel there are still some options that were left here for you. But it's pretty much almost like you kind of cut the connection off. You cut the person off. You cut the possibility off. You said it's not going to work. Done with that. So over this. But you were not over it. Okay? You were still hoping. You didn't want to hope, but you were still hoping. It's like, I wish I didn't hope, but I am. Okay? Let's draw another card for that situation, for that energy. Ten of Pentacles. So you may want to reconsider, because you let quite a big dream go, and some of you might be in this phrase where you be like, you know, I'm single and it takes a strong person to be single, and I'm so powerful and I'm so independent and I'm so single. You're lying to yourself. Okay? Don't lie to yourself. Do not lie to yourself. It's okay to want to be with someone. It's okay to see obstacles. It's okay to have fear. It's okay to be willing to try. And as you were recommended in your overall energy there with the Hanged Man, you know, instead of feeling that you need to take control of things in your own hands right now, which is probably what you don't want to do, you know, this is about surrendering, asking the universe for help, aligning with that. Current energy, first card coming up there was sort of like the Four of Pentacles, kind of like on its side. You are not as in control of things as you might, you know, would like yourself to believe that you are. Five of Cups. It's time for healing. It's time, it might, and the Five of Pentacles. Now, this may not be true for all of you, but for those of you that this is true for, just accept the message, please. That whoever you were dealing with in the past, it's almost like you are, that you were comparing one person to another person, expecting this new person to do the things that the other person would do. And when we too long compare someone to somebody else, first of all, you miss their potential, because when you do that, you only see their mistakes. And if we want to see mistakes, we're going to see mistakes. So you might be cutting off your nose to spite your face here at the moment. Okay? Let's draw you another card for that situation. I just feel that you might be a little bit hasty, And it's, again, it's almost like that I'm this powerful person. I need to stand my ground with the Emperor. This is a reminder that there's a lot of power to be found. Yes, it's emotions. Yes, you feel emotions so deeply because you're this beautiful, divine being. But a lot of strength of who you are could also be found in, feeling the emotions and not trying to cover it up and make it something else. If it's a cake that has fallen in, the situation is almost like putting tissue paper inside and putting nice icing around the little flowers. It is what it is. Serve that cake just the way that it is. Serve that cake, flops and all. Alright. Because who knows, you might think like, oh, it's not working out because it looks so ugly. But other people might actually, it's like, oh, look at you being so all authentic, showing up who you really are. Instead of riding away, pretending everything is fine, because you're not fooling anybody. Alright? Let's look at this energy that's coming towards you, Pisces. This Ten of Swords. Because I feel that you might also be getting over this because you're also realizing that, maybe this person has connections to personal to you. Yep, there we go. That you realize that maybe I'm the one that must change my ways. And it's quite a powerful thing when we sometimes, really realize that maybe I'm the one who's actually holding back this connection, It sort of opens a whole new door for us, Yeah. So Ace of Swords, that realization, Knight of Cups, beautiful, and the Hermit in reverse. Impatience here, I also feel a realization that you can kind of feel like, maybe I was a little bit hasty in my decision making, Maybe I was a bit quick to let it go, to let them go. Even if you didn't let them physically go, within your heart, mind, and soul. Let's see what we've got for you for an oracle card. And if it resonates, Pisces, you're more than welcome to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Remember, if you subscribe, to hit that notification bell. Let's see if we can get an oracle card to tie this all in for us, because it's sort of hanging, and I don't like hanging readings. Alright, so there's two cards. One says, I'm going to take the top one that came out first. It says, Diana, focused intention. So what do you really want to have? Focused intention, not running away, but staying within the situation. Because if you're inside a crappy situation, then you're already inside a crappy situation. So you can just say, what brought me here, so it doesn't have to be repeated. It says, think about, look at this. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high, because you're worth it, and expect expect the best possible outcome. Lady Venus, which is love. Downloads and understanding. So yeah, lots of spiritual, happenings in your life right now. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. Alright, so things might actually change for you quite fast, and in a direction, in a positive direction that you didn't, expect. So, still honoring yourself. And yourself is a divine being, an expression of love, a soul having a human being experience. But also, again, be mindful to not cut off your nose, to spite your face. there might still be very good potential there. Okay.